We know you all probably got a lot of burning questions, so we're pretty excited for our first Discord AMA here. A lot of new faces, a lot of new community members joining, so welcome to you all. We're going to keep this one pretty high level given it's our first AMA, so we'll kind of walk through the project a little bit. Obviously, talk about our whitelists, about our mint days, give you guys some details on the game itself, and of course, we'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible. Give people a few more minutes to jump in, and then we'll start things off. Teleska, if you and Blakey and some of the other mods can let everybody know to jump in. Because I know I've been in these AMAs before. There's going to be a ton of repeat questions, and I don't really feel like answering them more than twice or three times, to be honest. Hope everybody's doing well. Otherwise, we're going to figure out some better times that work for all our different time zones across the world. So if it's a little late for you, we appreciate you staying up for us. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Start thinking of your burning questions for the team. And we hope you're all equally excited as we are for the launch of Hunter Game. We're just under 10 days from our public launch now. We can't
can
wait
already
to see
see lots of questions in the AMA question chat. Damn.
Oh yeah.
We have to get through a lot.
Well, hopefully some of the mods can take care of the ones that are easily answerable via some announcements or website links, because I'm sure a lot of questions people have can be easily answered with a few clicks of a mouse. So we'll try to address as many of those as we can right off the bat. And if we got some time afterwards, maybe we'll bring up a few community members on stage to share some of their thoughts. All right. Well, I think we've waited enough for these stragglers. We'll start getting going. If they come in, when they come in, they can figure it out on their own.
All right.
So first and foremost, thank you all for joining us. First AMA, super excited. Hunter Game coming soon, guys. Public mint January 27th. This is a project that I'm sure you're all equally excited as we are. So wanted to take some time to obviously walk through some of the updates that have been going on behind the scenes. You know, the team's been working really hard to basically provide the best possible experience for everyone and ensure that we've got super tight knit community and a really great launch, so that when the game comes out, everybody's hunting for prey together, and we've really got like a great ecosystem for everybody to enjoy. Um, we'll do some intros here. I'll start with Yamster as the founder. Uh, Take it away. Say a few words, buddy.
Oh, what's up? Um, been in the NFT space for quite a while. So I started with apes, flipped my way up, and then now I'm launching my own project. I've been wanting to launch my project for a while now, and I've been designing this game for like a month or two. So yeah, hope everyone likes it when we launch.
Yeah, so Yamster and I connected via a couple other projects that I'm working on, and he kind of broke down what he was trying to build with Hunter Game. Obviously, looking at other projects with similar dynamics, Wolf Game being the closest one. Um, he kind of informed me that the kind of goal was to build off of not only the successes of Wolf Game, but also learn from some of their failures as well. Um, and of course, along the way, build our own sort of nuances and differentiate ourselves in a few different ways that we think will benefit the community and build a much stronger game in the end. Um, to give you guys a little bit of detail on myself, I'm been in the digital marketing industry for well over 10 years. Worked with a number of pro athletes and big brands such as Microsoft for their Xbox launch, MasterCard, a number of different art galleries and things like that. So I have a really strong marketing background, and in the last couple of years have moved that over to Web3 and specifically NFTs. So as soon as the answer was telling me about the project, I obviously immediately got interested. And when he was letting me know that they're kind of looking for that kind of next wave of community engagement and building a really strong community, so that after the launch, the project can really sustain uh, itself and be able to kind of have a community of players that are not only regular users but are like rewarded for their engagement with the game. It was something that I kind of wanted to get involved with as well. So, as part of that, we've kind of looked at a lot of our launch strategies and how we can best build a really, really engaged community. Because with a lot of new members coming in, of course, it's easy for people to just join the Discord and not really feel engaged or involved. So, we really wanted to be able to ensure that once the mint comes out and once the game launches soon after that, that the community is really, really tight knit. They're really passionate about the project and they want to be able to build it with us. So those are some of the goals that we had, and that's kind of what led us to building out some of these new white lists and launch dates and things that you guys have probably seen on the announcements. Um, Yamster, anything else to add to that before we can maybe get into some of these new whitelist details?
No, you covered it all. I think we can get started with the questions.
So yeah, before we get into the questions, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions that you guys have, and probably a lot of them are on the whitelist as well. So when we're looking at how we can better build this community and of course reward those that are the most engaged and the most dedicated and the most knowledgeable, and overall just the really best community members, not only within Discord but also practicing that on social and in real life, we thought we would come up with the Hunters and the Hounds whitelist. And a lot of you guys have the Hounds whitelist already. You guys are still have your whitelist, so don't worry about that. All of those benefits still come. But with that, we wanted to be able to provide a way to ensure those who actually like really, really care about the game, who are really involved, who understand the dynamics, and aren't just really in it for a whitelist retweet to make sure that they were handsomely rewarded. So that's where the hunter's whitelist comes in. And with the hunter's whitelist, you're gonna of course get all the benefits of the hound's whitelist, but a few other really key ones as well. So, of course, you're going to get early access to mint before the Hounds whitelist and the public sale. The Hounds and the public sale are going to occur on January 27th, and the Hunters whitelist, which is only a max of 250 entrants. Well, I guess now 248 because we had a couple of winners earlier on today. We'll be able to mint a day before those guys. And I did see some questions about some of the gas prices. So what we're going to do for the Hounds Mint or the Hunters Mint, sorry, is we're going to have a gas window. So basically, you can mint between a certain number of hours. Maybe it's I think we're finalizing the number, but between 12 and 24 hours, so that you can kind of mint at your leisure and you don't have to worry about getting into any gas wars. On top of that, we're also going to be giving away some additional prey for the Hunter's whitelist. So normally with the Hound whitelist, you get a certain amount of prey tokens upon launch. The Hunters will be able to get an additional bonus airdrop on top of that. And what we think is actually one of the biggest and most important parts of that hunter's whitelist is anybody who's part of that whitelist who mints and stakes 20 plus hunters and hounds on the website will get access to our Headhunters Council, which is something that we're really, really excited about. And we think will kind of give everybody an extra incentive and a little bit of extra stake in the game when it comes to the project and the game itself. So what we've developed for the Headhunters Council is basically our in-community alpha group. It's going to be consisting of the most dedicated hunters and hounds, some really, really big brains in the NFT community, some high net individuals, and some influencers who are not only going to get access to some exclusive alpha, some giveaways that are exclusive to this group. We're going to have exclusive poker tournaments for the Headhunters Council, but most importantly, we want the Headhunters Council to kind of represent the community and also be able to build the game with us. So they're kind of going to get a seat at the table with the core team to be able to build out the project, figure out what we think are the best ways to develop it after some of the initial game components come out, and basically have a seat at the table to influence the future roadmap and things like that. So something that's really, really exciting, and we think will give a great benefit to all of the hunters whitelist. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and be sure to continue to fill out those bounties. We want you guys to kind of show your dedication to the project. So, help out people in Discord, level up, not just through the usual grinding that we all see, but actually giving out information on the project, sharing with people, helping them out when they have questions, things like that. So the mods are going to be looking out for all your bounty submissions, and also just in the chat who's kind of being the most alpha hunter. And before the mint, we'll be able to calculate all of the leaderboard points and assign some of those hunter whitelist roles. Yamster, do you maybe want to go through some of the roadmap from the site that people can check out? They can follow along with us.
Yeah, sure. I'll go through the roadmap a bit. So the initial stage is the Gen 1, Gen 0, 10K, where people will be able to mint for 0.067. After that, they can choose to stake or sell it on the secondary market. And after that sells out, people can use their prey token to mint the remaining 40K. Yeah, and they can get prey from either right now. We have airdrops. We're airdropping prey. But another way of getting prey is through staking their NFTs. Their hounds will produce around 10K prey every day, and then you can stake it in groups. So if you stake hounds alone, they produce 10K every day. But let's say you add a hunter on top of that with an alpha level, then you'll be able to gain much more in reward. And then that's our plans for the first quarter. In terms of the second quarter, we will be launching our game platform. So as you can see, we posted a sneak peek of what we've been working on in terms of the game side. So it'll basically be like a platform with lots of mini games, but the main game that we're pushing through would be the sled hound racing game. It's sort of like the Z Run, if you guys are familiar with that, where basically you'll be able to use your prey tokens to place bets. So you guys will all receive an airdrop of sleds, and then you'll be able to pick your hounds and hunters to sort of race, and then you guys can place bets on winners, and competitions will be held weekly. And yeah, so we've already started developing that, and hopefully we can launch it to you after all 50K sells out and in quarter two. Yeah. Further down the roadmap, we have some airdrops coming for 3D models, and then after receiving the airdrop, you guys can import it to Sandbox and use it in the metaverse. Yeah.
So obviously, quite a lot of things in development for the roadmap. As you guys saw from the teaser, the developers have kind of already started on some of the interesting side mini games and platformers that are going to be part of the experience. I know Yamster and I are both working with the devs pretty closely, and they've got quite a bit of past gaming experience, so they're already working on basically finalizing a lot of the components. So as soon as the Gen 0 and the Gen 1 mint comes out, you'll be able to stake your hunters and hounds, and definitely check out the white paper on the website because it's got a lot more details in terms of the combinations of staking rewards that you can get from different levels of hunters and hounds and things like that. Um, Once we get to a point of reaching our Hound's whitelist, because I know there's a lot of questions about the Hound's whitelist and the Hunter's whitelist. Currently, the Hound's whitelist has a maximum capacity of 1,000 community members. We're getting pretty close. We may have actually already hit that. I know the update on the Discord channel may not be completely accurate, but once that does reach over 1,000 members, we'll do a random draw, ensuring, of course, that it's not really like a bot or a fake account, but we'll do a draw for those 1,000 spots if it reaches over 1,000. But we're hoping a lot of you will get into that hunter's whitelist, so hopefully it opens up a few more spots for everyone else. With that said, we have reserved the supply of the Gen Zero mint for the public. So if you don't manage to get into those whitelists, don't worry. There's definitely going to be some supply saves. We want to ensure that everybody has, both a chance to mint and be able to stake their hounds and hunters for some prey. Speaking of prey, Yamster, do you want to maybe run us through a little bit of the tokenomics of prey and some of the supply and how that gets dished out and burned throughout the game?
Yeah, of course. So Prey token, as you guys know, is the utility token, game token of our project, and right now you guys can gain it through staking your NFTs. And basically the the supply is capped at 5 billion, and when the supply reaches 2.4 billion, the faucet will be turned off. And in terms of distribution, developers, we are reserving 600 million, and we're vesting over 2 years. And then another 2 billion, sorry, will be used for airdrops and competitions like the Sled Town Racing. And yeah, that's overall the tokenomics of our utility token.
And I think one of the good things that you and the team have put into the game mechanics is a lot of this kind of gamification and game theory aspects, where every time that you claim your prey tokens and every time that you unstake both your hunters and hounds, there's a certain risk element involved to it. Obviously, if you're familiar with Wolfgame did something similar, but I think you guys kind of took it up a bit of a step further. So can you walk us through a little bit of some of those game theory mechanics and some of the betting and risking that you have to do every time that you want to claim your prey from the forest?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wolfgame, but basically, for their token, their risk factor is that when you unstake your rewards, 20%, not 20%, yeah, 20% is sent to wolves. However, for our game, hunters and hound, they don't sort of work against each other. They're staked together to gain more reward. And instead of, when you unstake and claim your reward, taxing it to the hunters, it actually goes to the forest monitor, and then it will be burnt. So that makes our token more deflationary compared to other games like Wolfgame.
Yeah, if you're familiar at all with some P2E gaming and also just some DeFi NFT projects, one of the most difficult things is maintaining a stability for the price and the utility of the token. And one of the things that I think you guys have done really well is be able to build in some of this deflationary mechanics to ensure that every time people are, removing their stake from the forest or they're trying to unstake, there's a certain level of risk. So it kind of forces people to like make that decision and gamifies it in a really interesting way, but also rewarding them at the same token. So if you are trying to stake out your prey from the forest, you kind of have an option to take the 20% tax that gets burnt and helps the rest of the NFT community, or you can risk it and take it all, but also 50-50 chance that you lose half of it. So I think these kind of mechanics will make it really, really fun when people are staking and earning their prey. And ultimately, what it's going to do is just help the overall community because it builds in some of this deflationary mechanics um, that are going to be useful later on for the Gen 2.
Hey, Yamster. Well, is there any way possible you can provide some details regarding the unstaking mechanism and the risk that people would face, and also whether this only applies to group staking, or I'm sorry, group unstaking, or is it like applied to each hound when they choose to unstake? How does that really work?
Okay, I'll go through the unstaking. So basically, when you unstake your NFTs that you have previously staked, you have two choices. You have to claim your token first and then unstake. And when you claim your token, you have two choices. Um, you can either burn 20% to keep the remaining 80%, or you can sort of take like a gamble and get like a 50-50 chance of keeping all your prey or burning all your prey. And then the second part would be unstaking, and the risk of unstaking would be that you might lose your hound. However, like if you have staked your hound with a hunter, the hunter protects the hound from being stolen. So if you have a hunter that you have staked with the hounds, then you're safe. But if you only have hounds, then there's a 20% chance that you will lose a hound, and that hound that's lost will be sent to another hunter.
So basically, the hunter ensures that the hound won't be lost, or am I
Yeah,
hearing that? Okay,
it
sounds good.
won't be lost. That's only when you stake it together.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why there's an added value to the hunter, because a lot of people right now, or at least a lot of members, might have this conceived perception that hounds are more valuable because they produce prey, but there's a reason why hunters are 20% chance of minting. So keep that in mind.
Oh, for sure, you're definitely going to want to try and get a hands on some hunters because I think even throughout some of the sled racing and some of the mini games and platformers that are coming out, the hunters will definitely have some added benefits and rewards over the wolves. There's a reason, like you said, Blakey, why there's only 20% compared to 80% of the wolves. Any other burning
Now,
questions coming in, Blakey, that we can address before we
yeah,
get into
yeah.
some of these?
So there is a very good question regarding um, gas fees. The back end contract will be optimized to reduce as much um, fees towards gas as possible.
Okay, I'll address that. Well, the Ethereum network, there's, when you mint or send a transaction, there's always going to be gas fees, and on Ethereum, it's known to be quite high. And what we've done is to set minting in stages so that you guys like Gimo said earlier, yeah, for wireless people, you will have a 24-hour window. So you'll be able to choose a time when the gas is low and then mint your NFT.
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan that we've built out to kind of lower the gas fees. Is built out a little bit of some windows where people can kind of mint at their leisure. They don't have to step away from work or wake up early or stay up late in order to mint. So if you have the Hounds whitelist, you'll be able to mint, of course, before the public on January 27th during the morning hours of the Eastern time zone, whereas the public will be minting in the PM. So you'll have maybe like a 4 to 6 hour window where you can mint and try and avoid gas fees. Similarly, if you're in the Hunter's whitelist, you'll have a larger window between 12 to 24 hours. So you kind of have some time to mint at your leisure. You don't really have to worry about getting in right as soon as it opens. And then you can kind of manage your gas fees based on that.
A follow-up question to minting is, and I'm just fielding the questions that the members are posting here. Will there be a bulk mint option, and what is that number?
Yes, there will be a bulk mint. So you'll be able to choose from 1 to 20. So if you wanted, you can mint 20 at a time and stake them right after, or you can pick 10, 15. So yeah, it's really your choice, but yeah, you'll be able to mint in bulk.
Now, there were some questions about the choice of network, on what made us decide Ethereum instead of the other alternative networks to run the game on.
So we chose Ethereum because that's right now the sort of most popular network that's being used. But for our games that we're planning to launch in the future, we have considered using shifting to Polygon, where gas will be much lower. But right now we're still confirming with our devs. And if the community really wants us to shift it to another network, then yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
Yeah, gas fees aside, I think everybody can probably agree that not only the best projects but the best communities are really still coming out on the ETH network. While we all enjoy some of the lack of gas on Solana or Polygon or Cardano, a lot of these projects that are built out on there, I don't think they really have the longevity, and they're not really able to build up some of the mainstream notoriety that, of course, the Ethereum projects are on. So when you're looking for, the best developers, the best artists, and ultimately the best communities, I think Ethereum is where everybody's still going to be gravitating towards. But I think, as the answer said, as some of these other gaming components get built out, and some of the gas fees and transactional elements of the PTE become a little bit, more apparent and a little bit more of a nuisance, we can kind of look to see how we can bridge to some other less gas intensive networks.
Another popular question that we have here is regarding doxing. Questions of who's behind the project, whether the team will be doxed to provide some confidence level.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we've discussed, and being in the NFT space, it's not very difficult to understand that docs teams, and especially providing some transparency into that element, always provides us with a little bit more credibility, not only as a project internally within the community but externally as well. So actually, I know the team, dev team, is working on updating the website to add a team section to it as well. And of course, we're going to be doing a lot more AMAs and Twitter Spaces and things like that, where we'll be able to connect directly with the community and ensure that everybody's feeling confident and as successful as we are about the project.
A follow-up question to that here is Hamster, Yamster, I'm sorry. Are you the sole owner of the project, or how many founders is there? How many team members or founding members can we?
So I'm the founder that represents. I'm the main founder, and then I have another partner who's leading the dev side. But he's not represented publicly. Yeah. So you can say I'm the main founder, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, here's kind of like a lighthearted one here was who has the most expensive NFT collection in the team?
I don't know. I haven't checked the team's NFT collection, but for me, my collection, I've got around 20 apes, including a gold ape, a suit, 2 blue beams. But yeah, anyone in the team is, I don't know. Do you guys want to share your NFT collection?
I don't know if that's really a fair question. That's a bit personal. And besides, it's not the size of the collection; it's the motion in the ocean. We all know that.
Yeah, of course.
But no, the answer, I think you might have that one especially over me. But I think that also just goes to show with some of the savvy that the team does have in terms of understanding the market and understanding good market opportunities. Um, I've personally spoken with the dev team on a number of occasions as well, especially just recently coming into the project. And as somebody new to the project, I wanted to ensure that one, it was something that the team uh, had the same passion and ability to deliver on that any successful project needs, and two, that they were kind of willing to do what it takes in order to build the community in the right way. And after speaking with them, and both Yamster and I have docs with each other, so I have full confidence in both his ability and the team's. Um, it seems like the dev team is one based in Hong Kong, so their hours are a little bit different than ours. But they've worked on a number of previous gaming projects, both in mobile and some desktop browser kind of game applications. So I'm more than confident in their ability to execute. I think what's more important is my ability to execute and being able to create a really engaged and connected community. So the fact that we've got just over 50 of you guys, 49 now in here is a great start. But we really want to be able to build something together and ensure that this game has a lasting impact. So while our launch and our mint dates are important, and we want all you guys to have a really smooth experience there, we all know after that euphoria of the mint and the reveals kind of pass, that's when the real work begins. So that's also why we wanted to kind of test your metal a little bit and kind of see who our most dedicated and passionate community members are, so that we can kind of build a community together and figure out how we can take over the metaverse. Because soon we've got our 3D voxels coming in, and that's going to be a pretty big step for us as well once we get there.
In terms of collaboration, we are not affiliated with Wolf Game, but we are offering members of that community free prey. Yamster, if you can elaborate a little bit more on that, and also whether we have plans on collaborating with other games. I guess what's being tossed out here is Police and Thief and other play-to-earn games that are similar.
Yeah, okay. I'm not really familiar with Police and Thieves, but collabing with other play to earn games is definitely something that we've been looking towards. We've also started collabing with NFT projects, not just play to. For example, as you guys saw in the announcements today, we have done a collab with I believe the Ugly People community. What was the first question again?
Just basically kind of like a breakdown of why we are providing prey to members of the Wolf Game community.
Right, okay. Yeah, so when we just started, we sort of we had a rough start. So we were, because many people seem to think that P2E projects are just scams. I mean, there have been a lot of scams going on lately. So yeah, what we're trying to do with the airdrop is to basically encourage people to play our game for free with no risk. Yeah, so that's why we're airdropping to Wolf Game users. I believe each Wolf Game token that you own, you are able to claim around 10K, or yeah, it depends on what you have. So I think sheep, you can get 8,000 prey, with a wolf 10,000. Yeah, so it depends on the assets that you own.
Okay,
And I
so
think
it
there's
was
an element
pretty much. Go ahead, Kim.
sorry, yeah, there was a bit of an element of paying homage to the project as well, because when I was talking with the Amster, of course, a number of similarities with the project, and as I mentioned before, we wanted to be able to capitalize on the successes, but also really learn from some of the mistakes. If you guys are familiar with the Wolf Game project, they had a bumpy road upon their mint, where people were kind of able to exploit the contract and be able to mint the more valuable assets as opposed to the sheep. So I believe the answer and especially the dev team kind of took it upon themselves as a bit of a challenge to be able to build out a smarter contract, if you will, pun intended, that was kind of foolproof in being able to exploit it and mint some of the better assets. Um, and I believe if you're a hacker, there's a challenge out to be able to find a bug or to be able to exploit the mint and win yourself some ETH, if I'm not mistaken, right, Answer?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And we haven't gotten any submissions yet.
So I guess that's a
So,
good sign, but
Yeah.
so just so that we can reiterate the message, because I know I've been doing this on Discord, but Yamster, if you can kind of reinforce the message that whitelist members are going to be getting free Prey airdrop, I guess that would do wonders knowing that it's coming straight from you.
Yeah. I'm sure Blakey has mentioned this to other people in general chat, but yeah, so if you're on the whitelist, if you're on the Hounds whitelist, after Gen 0, which is the first 10K, you will receive 40K Prey airdrop, in which you can use to mint new Prey or you can sell on Sushi. Because after Gen 0, we are planning to open a pool in Sushi Swap. So you guys will be able to trade your Prey or you buy Prey to mint. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Speaking of contract and exploit things like that, there was a very good, I don't know if it's a rumor or a good question that some members believe that the devs from our project help Wolfgame with theirs and covering up their exploit. Is that correct?
Sorry, I lost you there for a bit. Could you repeat your question?
Oh yeah. So there were talks amongst the community member that the devs working for our project were the same devs that help with game cover up their not cover up but fix their exploit on their contract.
No, our devs are not affiliated with Wolfgame.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate team.
Okay, gotcha. Um, let's see here. In terms of metrics for Prey, there were questions about whether we will be using certain metrics to look at and ensure the health of the token. And if so, would you be able to let us know what metrics you'll be using to monitor like how Prey would turn out?
Well, that's kind of a difficult question to answer, but because it's very difficult to predict the price of our token. It all depends on our performance, whether we sell out and the price of our token. But we will we have designed the game to be very deflationary, so um, our token um, should add value. And to our future games, we've added utility to our token, like betting. So yeah, those are all values added to our token and utilities. So these are set in place to sort of protect the price of our token.
yeah, and if we think about it from the top down as well, as Yamster mentioned earlier, once the supply of the Prey tokens reaches a certain level, that faucet will be turned off. Of course, there's going to be some reserves, as he mentioned, for the original developer team vested over 2 years to kind of ensure that we're keeping them honest as well. Of course, a bunch of Prey tokens for some of the airdrops and giveaways that you guys are hopefully already qualified for. But between limiting that kind of supply and capping the supply of Prey, but also building in some of these not only burn mechanics within the game, but also some of the utility, of course, for the Gen 1 collection after the 10K collection gets released on the 27th. You're going to be able to mint those NFTs with Prey, and that, along with some of the deflationary mechanics that I think we're building into the game, betting with Prey once the sled racing comes out. These are all kind of foundational elements that will help provide us some floor stability and really limit the supply compared to the demand. But I think what's important is as we start to build out, the ecosystem for the project, and we start getting into some of the additional mini games and platformers, as we start to explore the metaverse, I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for us to build in additional utility for Prey. So that's something where our Headhunters Council, we're going to look to the community as well, and some of our top holders and community members to work with us to be able to continue to push the project forward in a way that we can provide longevity for the token and for the NFTs themselves. And while you're fielding some more questions, Blakey, I've just taken a bit of a snapshot of everybody in the audience, and we're going to do a bit of a random draw for a couple of the Hunter whitelist spots. So if you've been hanging out in the chat, we appreciate you, and hopefully we'll drop a couple giveaways here for some of you guys. Like we were saying before, the mods are always watching. We're always keeping an eye out for kind of who's engaging and who really wants to help us build out this P2E game and kind of being able to provide longevity to the community. So keep being active, keep being excited, and you never know what might come your way.
Yeah, so I guess the next question that a lot of people seem to be very interested in is whether there will be a working mobile game. I know the answer myself, but I guess because we have the founder here, and because the question is very popular, I'm going to let Yamster answer that.
Okay. Yeah, because our devs have previous experiences with game development, whether it's mobile or on PCs. So yeah, we will definitely look into developing a game mobile, and on our website as well for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, and just for clarification, we're talking about different game in the future. We're not talking about Hunter game right now as you speak, because the term gaming is really just the fact that there are different elements that you have to do in order for you to get X, Y, and Z. And so like the term playing the game so that you can go through stages to get to where you want. That's pretty much the gaming aspect. It's not really a full-blown game that you would imagine someone would like go through in a video game or in a mobile app game. So hopefully the community knows the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think that's a good distinction to make, Blakey. And if you check out the roadmap, it hopefully gives a little bit more clarity. But essentially, once we mint, you guys will be able to immediately stake your NFTs, both hunters and hounds, and in those combinations to get the certain reward of Prey once you stake. So that's the first element of the gamification element of the project itself. Of course, once you are staking your Prey and hunting for it, you have the option to claim it, and you have the option to unstake if you want to put it on the secondary marketplace or do anything else with it. So that's the second kind of element of the gamification, and that's also what adds in the deflationary aspects of the token itself. So those are the first two, what we're calling like game elements of the project. Once we of course sell out the Gen 0 10K and we sell out the Gen 1 40K, that's when we intend to release the sled game racing, which will be the first, I think, game element of the actual project itself. And correct me if I'm wrong there on any of those dates, Yamster.
Oh, you're right.
So once that sled game does get released, and I don't have the roadmap in front of me, but if someone can reference it in terms of the time, I think it's Q2 or 3 of this year. Is that right, Yamster?
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for. We don't have a specific date yet, but yeah, we've already started developing some of the games that we have in mind, and we will launch some in Q2 and Q3.
So that's when I think we can all expect some of the first, as Blakey kind of dissected, real kind of PTE gaming elements of it. And of course, adding in the betting aspect, just another deflationary token mechanism. So I think with a lot of these foundational elements in play, it gives us a really great shot of not only maintaining a stable floor price for the Prey token itself, while everybody's staking it and burning it and giving it to the guardians of the forest, but also providing a good enough ecosystem for everybody to continue enjoying the games and the platformers and everything that's going to be coming out in the future elements of the roadmap. So I think we've almost reaching the 1 hour mark for the AMA. And I know, Blakey, you've been hosting a lot of the questions from the chat, but we've got a couple requests to speak. So if anybody does want to come up on the stage and kind of share their thoughts on the project and let us know what you think, feel free to jump on and we'll get you up here.
Yeah, sure. Being that he is such an advocate of this project, Mr. Pants, I'll bring you on. I guess I can't move him. Interesting. 1 second here.
Rory Pants. I think he's up there already. Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. How you feeling about the project? Let us know. We're keen to hear.
You know, I'm loving the project. All this hunter and hound staking you guys can do with it is amazing. But in future plans, you plan to like branch out, get your own land in the metaverse, right?
Yes, sir.
That is definitely on the roadmap.
Yeah. So we will.
So have you guys been looking for like a collab with some people that are branching out into real estate, into the metaverse already, and they're starting to build portfolios through NFTs? Do you want me to name drop two of them?
Well, without showing any specific guides in mind, I think the metaverse is something that, of course, is on the roadmap. It's something that's keen on our mind. But I think, given the skills of the development team, I think we'd want to maybe look at doing it in house. Of course, we've got a few important milestones to get there. But certainly collaborations. We're always kind of on the hunt for good projects that we can collaborate with, especially in the PTE space. But we'll connect via DM and maybe we can find out who these guys are, and if there's a good synergy amongst the teams, we'll definitely appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else want to jump up on stage?
Yeah, Alex, you can hop on stage.
While we get Alex up here, guys, of course, always keep an eye out on Discord because we're going to be dropping some giveaways, some contests, some random airdrops for the Hunter's Whitelist throughout the next few days. I'm thinking we might even do a poker tournament or two if we can get enough activity from the community. So stay engaged, help each other out, ask mods if you got any questions about the game, and you may be handsomely rewarded. Doesn't look like Alex is making it on stage, so if anybody else wants to take their spot, definitely want to hear some feedback from the community. Scrap dogs. Blakey, you want to let
Yep.
Scrap Dogs on the stage?
Scrap Dogs is invited, so he's on.
What's
Scrap,
going
can
on,
you?
Scrap Dogs? You got the floor, buddy. It amazes me how many people we got in Web3 and we still got technical difficulties. Even I myself, half the time, got to figure out how to get a white mic working, but I can buy cryptocurrencies in JPEGs, no problem. Scrap Dog, you there, buddy? No, Scrap Dog. Well, let's replace
I
Scrap
mean, I
Dog with
can.
Tenty.
Yeah, if anything, we'll just leave him on until he can get his mic fixed. But I think we have another person that wants to talk, and that would be Tenching.
Hello?
Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning. How are you, Tenji?
I'm fantastic. Can you guys hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Okay, I'm
What are
just
you
trying to
thinking
make
about
sure.
the project so far?
I think the project's fantastic. I think it's definitely. I'm not. I don't hold anything from the farmer sheep game, but I think this idea or this theme is a lot cooler in my opinion. And the best part is that you get to see their pros and their cons of their project. So you being able to capitalize on you guys taking advantage of that is one of the, I think one of the biggest stepping stones here in the NFT world and making our way to the metaverse as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was important to kind of not just do kind of a spin-off of the project, but also provide some unique variances and differences and some really
Oh yeah,
niche
no,
components for the game as well that are gonna not just kind of make it a spin-off of Wolf Game, but kind of give it its own identity too. But I think you got a great point, like being able to learn from them, given the fact that there's similar PTE and mechanics from that perspective. I think it only helps us to be able to build a stronger project.
no, I'm definitely looking forward to the new ideas that you guys can add, of course, and I think anybody that's going to be a part of that headhunter table will really should take advantage of the opportunity that they'll have. So I think that's really cool, and I really appreciate you guys. And I think you guys are doing a terrific job. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Hey man, I appreciate the kind words, and we're definitely lucky to have some good community members like yourself in there. So keep working on that hunter's whitelist, get in those bounty campaign submissions. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you, brother. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Now, I promise one of our members to ask this question here regarding liquidity pool. Are there going to be plans to provide some type of LP so that members can earn more prey?
Regarding the liquidity pool, so as we said, after Gen Zero, we will be launching our own pool. And if members want, they can also become a liquidity provider by staking their providing ETH and their prey token. And in return, they'll get some rewards. But yeah, that's the
Okay,
plan so far. But
so would that be under the future plan of the project, or is this something that they can do themselves on the secondary, like Sushi Swap or something like that?
uh, I think the devs are looking to add staking and yeah, I believe they can do that themselves
Okay,
on
sounds
secondary
good.
if they want to become a liquidity provider. But if they're asking about staking, um, yeah, I'll have the devs look into staking, and if we want, we can introduce staking so you guys can stake your tokens and earn some rewards.
Any other burning questions from the community right now, Blakey, that you're seeing in the chat?
Um, well, what's going on, Scrap Dog? Are you good? Or are you still having issues? are you just waiting on us right now to kind of give you that room to talk?
I feel like Scrap Dogs is scrapped right now. Well, if nobody else wants to come on stage, we'll probably wrap it up pretty quick. So get your burning questions. Oh, look at that, Leon, right on time.
Yep. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Leon, you got the floor.
I don't think we can hear you there, Leon. You might be having some mic issues too. We might have to do a little Discord 101 session the next time we do these AMAs.
Yeah, teach everybody how to turn on their mics.
Although I don't want to be throwing rocks because I know our Rumble bot had some issues of its own too. So
Yeah.
Hey, that was not on us. That was on the devs of that particular program.
yeah, from what I was hearing from some other communities, it sounds like they just had like an overload of users globally. So Leon, doesn't look like we can hear you, buddy. Let's do a last call for burning questions in the chat, or if anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts on the project. I'm hearing crickets. Well, on that note, Blakey, we appreciate you doing our moderation for the questions. Everyone in attendance, we really appreciate you guys coming out. We're excited to share some details of the project with you guys, and of course, we're going to be doing a lot more of these leading up to our launch. So be sure to keep active in the Discord. If you guys have questions, reach out to any members of the team or the mods. Be sure to check out the bounty campaign so you can get yourself on the Hunter whitelist and get that exclusive access to the mint before our hounds and our public. If you've got any questions, definitely give us a shout. And we look forward to doing more of these in the future.
Actually,
Cheers,
Alex came back for some odd reason. I don't know if he's gonna work this time or not, so I'm gonna see if he can get on.
So that means I got to do my outro speech all over again, guys.
Maybe.
Alex, you better work this time. I only get one good sign off.
Well, I'm not. Let me. Yeah, he's not coming on though.
Well, that's it. Oh,
I'm gonna
Kramer.
bring up my. Yeah, I'm gonna bring him up. He's been a good member.
I've definitely seen the name. Let's bring him up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, we got a working microphone.
Oh, let's go. Hi. So I just have a
Let's
quick
go.
question. So I was wondering, you guys have any plans on implementing this project like into a real world? Maybe like advertising in Times Square and a billboard?
So I can definitely field that question from a marketing perspective. I think traditional kind of out of home advertising, which is what that would kind of fall into, is definitely on the roadmap. It's something that we want to be able to bring in, obviously as many people into the community as possible, and be able to kind of provide that blue chip touch as well. So I know before I even actually joined the project, the team had done some ads in the UK for some buses that were going around some of the most central areas of London and the rest of the UK. But I think we really, of course, want to focus on building a great community, having a successful launch, and then, of course, having an ecosystem and a platform that can sustain that kind of advertising. Because ultimately, we can put out some things on Times Square or during Art Basel and things like that, but we really got to have the foundations in place first before we go with those kind of marketing plays, because you can spend the money and you can get the kind of real estate and the campaign spots, but if the project and if the community and if the team and if the art and if the mechanics of the games aren't all there to kind of check those boxes, it's not really gonna, I think, do what we want it to do. So I'm definitely on board with the idea. I've got a lot of connections in both media and digital advertising, so we can do some really, really cool stuff. Like think like holograms on top of Ubers and crazy shit like that. So it's definitely something that we're always looking out for, but we want to make sure that we do that right, much like our collaborations and other sort of external partnerships. Everything's gotta kind of has to fall into place. So we don't want to just do stuff willy nilly just to get some retweets or some exposure that's gonna fade out very quickly, but something that can actually sustain itself and provide not only utility for our current holders, but bring in a lot more new ones as well. But it's a great question. I like the
Thank
way
you.
you're thinking.
Awesome, dude. I'm so excited for that. I'd love to hear it. I just want
Oh,
to.
as a marketer, I can't wait for us to be on Times Square.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I would love to just wake up in the morning and be like, "Oh my god, this project I'm in is on the billboard," like something like that. It's awesome.
100%. We'll take over the metaverse first, and then we'll work on the real world.
Great.
Yeah,
Looking
I
forward
think
to
one
it.
of the admins, our founders, also posted that picture of the double decker bus with our ads on it. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really awesome. I just want to say, like, I appreciate you guys' hard work. The community is awesome, and I'll definitely be active in here.
Appreciate you, Craig. All right, thanks for coming up, buddy.
Yep. Thank you.
I think
Okay,
that kind of wraps things up. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I appreciate everybody that tuned in and listened, and those who came on stage. Rory Pans, we appreciate it. I've seen some names I recognize in here. Ducey has been crushing it in the bounty submissions, so shout out to you, buddy. Everybody else, we really appreciate it. Keep an eye out on the announcements because we've got a whole lot of fun stuff coming up. A lot of teasers coming out for the project. We're going to be dropping some new information. I don't know if you guys checked out the document for our whitelist that was put in the announcements, but there was a mysterious Guardians list that was kind of alluded to. So we're going to be dropping some alpha on that as well. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the chat. So thanks everybody for coming out. Have a great night or morning or evening wherever you are in the world. And let's keep on hunting for that prey, guys.
All right, guys. Peace out.